everyone, it is Tanya. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you are new here. Today I am back with another speed build and another part of my series where I am creating tiny houses based on every generation of the Very Veggie Legacy challenge. Today we are working on generation 4, which is squash, which I will read you a little bit about momentarily, but we are building this in the world of Britechester, which is the world that comes with the Discover University expansion pack. And I chose that because this generation has a huge emphasis on academics and being a university student. So like always, I will have a link in the description for you to look at the full challenge rules, all of the ins and outs of each generation for you to follow along, or if you'd like to play it for yourself. This is created by Lil Simsy, so there are links down there for you to check out. And if you like this build and you'd like to download it, it will be available on the Sims 4 gallery. You can find it under my EA ID, which is Gryphi, Gryphi. You can also find it under the hashtag Gryphi, and that information will be in the description down below as well. I also wanted to let you all know that there is a mid-summer sale going on right now on the EA app where you can get lots of Sims packs for up to 50% off, like cats and dogs, cottage living, island living, and more. And businesses and hobbies is also on sale for 20% off. So now is a great time to pick up some DLC at a discounted price. And if you do, please consider using my creator code Gryphi at checkout. You just enter it when you're making a purchase on the EA app, and it doesn't cost you anything extra, but it does support me as a creator as I receive a small commission on your purchase price. So thank you so much for considering, and thank you to EA for sponsoring this portion of the video. So I'm going to read you a little bit about this generation. You grew up in a small town on a farm, and you always dreamed of getting away and moving on to bigger and better things. You know you are destined for greatness, and you're determined to never have your dreams squashed. You care deeply about success, and you will do anything in your power to get it. The color theme is yellow. Your traits are ambitious, hates children, and geek. Your aspirations are academic and master mentor, and your career is that you're a university student with your choice of major and career post-graduation. Additional rules are that you must successfully graduate university with at least a B grade, complete both of your aspirations, max the logic, video gaming, and research and debate skills, and choose your own career benefited by your degree, and max the career post-graduation. Since there isn't a specific career you need to go into, and you can kind of choose that based on your major that you choose as well, I didn't focus on a specific career or major in this house. I mostly focused on the additional rules and traits, so you'll see that when we get inside. And of course, I used quite a bit of yellow as that is the color of this generation. Right now, I am just working on the outside. I tried to make a building that was shaped like the rest of the ones in this area, but also blended into the surrounding space and still had yellow. I think I did an okay job with this, but you can let me know. And this is definitely a tiny house that's on the bigger side. I believe it's just shy of 100 tiles, which I think makes sense, especially for this generation, how it mentions they are ready for bigger and better things. And as with every generation I've done so far here, I built these tiny houses as if you're just starting this off. So you just moved out of Gen 3's house and you are starting on your own. So this is your first home, hence why it's a tiny home. You can build your skills faster, all of that. And I just think it's a fun way to go about it. And I love creating tiny houses in the game. So we are inside now and working on the floor plan. This ends up being a 1-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. Or I guess 1.5 bathrooms. There is a half bath on the bottom floor, and the kitchen is right when you walk in, and then the living room is off to the side. And upstairs, the bedroom is sort of like open to downstairs. There's not a separate door, but we do have a giant office space up here as well. And I was really excited about this. I made this L-shaped desk out of 2 large dining tables. And on one side, I have the research station because you are going to be working on your research and debate skill, I'm pretty sure is what it's called. Let me see. Yeah, research and debate skills. So I made sure to include that, but I also put a streaming computer because this sim is interested in video gaming and is a geek. So I really heavily focused on academic success and being a geek in here. So you'll see a lot of that. And I had this storyline in my head that maybe the reason they hate children is because children are always trying to play with their collectibles, and they have these things that they spent a lot of money on and are really hard to get, and they don't want like little fingers getting on them. I thought that that was kind of a cute idea. So We have quite a few collectibles and like fun posters and signed things throughout this home, but right now in the kitchen, I'm just getting a little bit of clutter. It's a very small kitchen, so I didn't have a lot of space to decorate. So I used the cutting boards so they wouldn't take up any space on the counter, and then I just have like a dish rack and stuff in the corner. And then we should be moving on into the living room, and I am going to be putting up a wall here, to separate this room so it's a different space. I just felt like it made a little bit more sense with the outside of this house. It feels like it would be a more separated interior, less modern. So just getting an archway here, figuring out which one I want to place, and then I'm going to change the sofa a few different times. I actually ended up going with the one from high school years in the end that has like pillows and blankets on it. I think it's really cute. And I wanted to have some framed posters, and I started with these ones from City Living, but I did swap them out for the ones from the Comfy Gamer Kit instead, because there's something just so magical to me about having like the Sims 2, 3, and 1 posters up there. I don't know why I didn't put them in order. I think it's because the Sims 3 poster is a different color, so it looked a little bit better in the middle. So that's what I did with that, and I also ended up using the like side table bookcase item where you can fill up all the cubes with different things in here. I thought that that was quite fun, and of course there are some video game controllers on the coffee table and lots of board games. I really filled up this little like media unit with so many activities. So hopefully this sim makes some friends to play games and stuff with. It didn't specify how they felt about other Sims other than children, so I feel like they could probably have a pretty expansive friend group potentially. But yeah, just finishing cluttering up this little unit, and we'll be grabbing a TV to put up top. And then in this room, the only other things that ends up being in here is we do have a additional chair that is going to be facing the sofa, and then the dining table is going to be in here as well. It's just a 2-seater dining table. I wanted to make sure there was some place to sit down to eat other than the couch. I don't always do that, but this is a pretty spacious tiny home, so I thought that I could make it work. But here I am picking out our chair. I tried a couple of different ones, but I went with this one from Cozy Kitsch in the end. It was just a more vibrant yellow, and I really liked that. And then I just grabbed a little pillow up there and another framed poster before we head into our downstairs bathroom. I just used the same counters that I used in the kitchen, both in this one and the one upstairs. And I will be actually swapping out the toilet. I thought using the yellow one would work nicely, but I didn't like it for some reason, so I changed it for this one. And then I'm just getting some other decor on the counter, and that should be pretty much it for this room. Yeah, I also got a poster in here. I just thought the framed posters worked really nicely with the sim that is a geek. They're probably into a lot of different things, so that one looked more like a movie poster, but I did put a strong emphasis on video games in here because they do have to max the video gaming skill. So over here is the desk I had mentioned. You can see the research station on one side and the like gaming computer on the other, and then I cluttered up the desktop with all sorts of office and gaming supplies. I also have a pegboard up above the research station that came from Comfy Gamer, as did the chair in front of the research station. The other chair is, I believe, from high school years. I might be wrong on that, but it's another gaming chair. I thought it looked nice over here, and I wanted to have 2 different chairs. And then I am just grabbing some diplomas and stuff to hang up here to really show their pride in their academics. And as we need to work on that logic skill, I also did grab a chess table, and then there's just a little plant in the corner because I thought it was cute. And then we are back at the bed where I'm making sure to place down some bedside tables, and there's going to be a bookcase in here as well, so your Sims can work on some more skills that way and read plenty of books. They're very into their academics. And I actually ended up using a mid-century one from Get Famous. I felt like it kind of matched the style of the rest of the house, and it has that yellow cabinet in it, which I thought was really fun. And I was able to squeeze a small TV on the wall as well, which I just like doing that in bedrooms. I think it's kind of realistic to have a TV in your room to have on when you're trying to fall asleep. I know I personally do. And then this is our final full bathroom. Pretty simple, very similar to the one downstairs, except it has a shower tub combo. And then you're going to see me do something kind of silly in the attic, and I'm not entirely sure if it's functional or not because I didn't intend for there to be like a cool attic space. It's just how the roof turned out that there is an attic area. I put the like debate station where you can have 2 people debate each other from Discover University up there, but that was kind of a joke. Anyway, we are finishing up the landscaping and then heading on into screenshots. I really hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more, and click that bell to be notified when I upload. And a massive thank thank you to my YouTube members for all of your support. If you'd like to become a member yourself, you can click the join button below the video or the link in the description. Enjoy the screenshots, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, everyone.